Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she's accused of faking 3 pregnancies.
I was actually 33 weeks when I lost the twins.
The coroner's office has no record.
5 babies' deaths.
There was a balloon release ceremony.
Mourning what you believe to be make-believe babies.
Absolutely.
You ask her to show you the death certificate.
She had nothing to show. Nothing. Amie is a serial con artist. She lacks any kind of remorse for the things that she has done to people. Amie's first pregnancy came after having just 1 date with her boyfriend. They were expecting a baby girl, and they were going to name the baby Ava. Everyone was very excited. This would have been first grandchildren for his parents. I saw many ultrasounds that Amie had sent me via text or Facebook Messenger, but there was never any personal information to indicate that they were Amie's. Shortly after Amie's miscarriage with Ava, she miraculously became pregnant again. About 4 weeks later, Amie instantly started sharing with us the photos of the babies. She was going to have twins. The boy, Kason Joseph, the girl, Tegan Sandra. Over the process of her pregnancy, she showed us multiple ultrasounds, and once again, there was never any personal information to indicate that they were Amie's. And her boyfriend was never able to attend a single appointment because Amie would come up with a convenient excuse.
But it wasn't until Amie claimed to have lost those twins at 33 weeks and 4 days that Courtney says her suspicions, in her opinion, became reality.
Amie told me that she went to the hospital because of labor pains. She was suffering a placental abruption. They flew her to our major hospital. One of the children died instantly, and the other one only lived for 20 to 30 minutes. Once again, her boyfriend was on a trip and was not notified until that following morning. Amie told me that she was so distraught that she'd ripped her IV out and took a $250 cab ride home. I was very skeptical of the story. Placental abruption is very serious. You can die. I don't know any hospital that would let someone that just suffered such a traumatic experience leave. Her boyfriend's parents planned a memorial service for the twins. They were going to be in caskets 2 days before the service. Amie had the twins cremated. No one ever saw the bodies. Later, I saw pictures of their alleged children in the hospital. The pictures were very odd. There was different bedding in each picture. My alarms were going off. I had to get to the bottom of it.
Here we see what she would send you, and it's got her name on the picture itself.
And no hospital would ever do that. The only reason why anyone ever puts information on a photo like that is that they are labeling body parts or identifying gender or things like that. They would never put your name
And
there.
on the right side is a typical ultrasound where it's up in the black corner where it identifies the piece of film, but then the actual image itself, it doesn't have any writing on it.
Yes.
So it looks like it's been cut and pasted on there.
Absolutely.
They were always edited,
Yes.
and this is what she would send. She would write on them and say, you know, baby A, baby B, little squiggles around, so, but never any identifying information on them.
No.
And in the state of Illinois, any baby that is lost after 20 weeks has to be reported.
Yes.
Okay, and so there was conversation with the coroner.
Absolutely.
And from the county, Amie claims her twins passed away in. Here's a quote from the coroner. There were no fetal deaths matching 33 weeks of gestation in 2016. By law, the hospital is required to report any fetal death over 20 weeks. So this would have been reported to the coroner's office without a doubt. And he goes on to say, there were no twins over 20 weeks, period. Courtney claims when Amie skipped town after the alleged loss of her twins, she announced another pregnancy with a due date this month.
Even after Amie was caught in all of her lies with her fake pregnancy here, she turned right back around and did the same thing in Florida. This past spring, one member of our scam group found pictures of Amie on social media with a pregnancy announcement. Of course, multiples with a new man. When I found that out, I thought, there is no way possible this is happening again. I was in utter disbelief. Me and the members of the group immediately took action, searched her likes on her posts, and narrowed it down to find members of his family to warn them. This guy's family members told us the exact same story. Got pregnant after the first date instantly. On April Fool's Day of this year, Amie hosted a gender reveal party. I told the sister that she needed proof, an ultrasound photo with her name on it, pregnancy test, a document from the hospital. That evening, the boyfriend asked her to go to the pharmacy and purchase a pregnancy test, and she took off. No pregnancy test was ever performed. So 2 days later, she went missing. Her friend sent her boyfriend at the time a text message saying that they had found Amie deceased on her father's grave, that she had written a suicide note. So the boyfriend's family called the police and had them do a wellness check on Amie. Lo and behold, they found her at her mother's house, just perfectly fine. On top of all of that, she contacted this man's sister saying that the twins were aborted, but there was the third baby that lived through it. This miraculous baby was due in October. So here we are in late October. There's no baby, and the two of them are no longer together.
So you contacted a family member?
Yes.
And said, take care here.
Absolutely. We sent them a few of the ultrasounds, some maternity pictures, I think emails from the coroner's office, just to prove that all of these events happened here and it could happen to you.
Well, apparently at a gender reveal party, he confronts her and says, hey, are you really pregnant? I want to see a pregnancy test. Mm-hmm. She leaves, goes to the hospital.
Yes.
And what she produces with her discharge summary at 10:18 that night is something that says vomiting in pregnancy, and she's given a Zofran, which is an anti-nausea. Mm-hmm. And there's no evidence that they tested her for pregnancy, just that she said, I'm pregnant, I'm having nausea. They gave her Zofran and sent her home.
Exactly.
So she could have easily said, I would like to take a pregnancy test.
Absolutely.
But she didn't. She provided something that said vomiting in pregnancy.
Exactly.
Which doesn't say that they tested her for pregnancy, just that they treated her for a patient self-report of vomiting in pregnancy.
Absolutely.
She could have easily gotten a pregnancy test, but did not.
That's what she was given money for. They asked her just to specifically go to a pharmacy, pick up a pregnancy test, and actually perform the pregnancy test in front of them, and she couldn't do that.
Well, 20 days later, Amie sends this text. One baby was missed, and she's talking about an abortion here. Mm-hmm. One baby was missed, still going to be parents this October. This is to the boyfriend's sister. An abortion was performed, but one baby was missed. We're still going to be parents in October. Well, imagine carrying twins for 33 weeks and then losing them both tragically during delivery. Amie says that's the heartbreaking reality she endured just last year. She says her former friend witnessed firsthand her heartbreak and pain, and now she cannot believe that Courtney is accusing her of faking it all.
One of the most awful things that Courtney has actually done is tell people that I was never pregnant, never suffered a miscarriage. I actually find it insane that she would even say that, because Courtney did my ultrasound at her own personal ultrasound studio. Courtney saw the babies with her own eyes. I was living with the father of my children, and he saw me without clothes on, and he is actually in the medical field. So there was no faking a pregnancy, as Courtney clearly keeps telling individuals. I was actually 33 weeks and 4 days when I lost the twins. When I went into labor, I was bleeding. I instantly knew that something was wrong. I'm anemic, and I went into a seizing. The oxygen to Kaysen's brain had actually been cut off because the placenta had detached from the uterus. When Tegan was born, she wasn't alive long either, and she also passed away. When all this went down, the father wasn't present. There wasn't a support team there. There was so much altercation between my boyfriend's family and myself that I chose to have them cremated. When I walked away and I left Illinois and moved to Florida, I was actually in an amazing relationship and got pregnant, but I ended up having a miscarriage in March. I'm not sure at all why Courtney denies the children ever existed. Even to this day, the father of the children has his doubts due to Courtney telling lies. I want to be able to live a normal life, and I want Courtney to back the hell off.
Now, Amie says Courtney will stop at nothing to destroy her relationships and continues to spread sickening and hurtful lies about her. Take a look.
For the past 2 years, Courtney has gone out of her way to cyberbully me nonstop. She has stalked me on all social media. Courtney has seen me in photos online with individuals and actually contacted them saying that I'm not a good person, I don't deserve to live. Because of what Courtney was doing, I was actually getting random text messages and phone calls from 20 or 30 people a day saying that I had faked my pregnancy, I didn't deserve to be a mother. I was beyond pissed off. Courtney even took it as far as making a hate page about me on Facebook and a sex page that had my images spread all over. Courtney has gone above and beyond with cyberbullying and made actual real threats to family members and myself. Courtney contacted my mom saying that I'm a piece of your daughter's not a good human being to be living and that my throat should be slit. Courtney said if I returned to the state of Illinois, she would make my life a living hell as well as having my ass kicked. I had to completely withdraw from society and not communicate with anyone. That's how fearful Courtney had me. I was in an amazing relationship beginning of this year, and Courtney was able to track him down, talk to him, and it caused us to separate. At this point, I would not even risk having a relationship because some way Courtney will try to undermine it. I don't understand why the hell she's doing what she is doing. I want Courtney to stop harassing me and take 50 million steps away from me and move on.
Well, Courtney says she hasn't seen Amie since she left town nearly 2 years ago. So, Amie, please come out and join us. Amie, Dr. Phil.
Hi.
Good to meet you. Have a seat.
Nice to meet you.
Well, Amie, you've not seen Courtney for quite some time, right?
Right, quite a while.
And you two were really good friends.
I want to say great friends. We were in the same group of friends, but we were never close, no.
But you were friends?
Yes, sir.
And you trusted each other and spent time together?
Yes, sir.
What is your theory about why she is focused on you?
I think Courtney still has a lot of issues in her own life that she hasn't resolved that she needs to self-work on. I mean, it's been almost 2 years now, and there's still pages and things going up. It's just almost to the point of it's harassment. It's severe harassment.
Why do you think she's doing this?
I just don't think she likes the idea with the fact that I up and left. I didn't say goodbye. When I left Illinois, I left Illinois. It wasn't a hesitation. It was I packed my stuff and I walked out the door. And since then, even the individual I was pregnant by, he hasn't even contacted me. The only person that's been contacting me has been Courtney, so I don't know. That's why I'm here today to ask what the hell her problem is.
What would you think of someone, I'm not even talking about you yet, but what would you think of someone that did lie about a pregnancy and the death of a baby and caused people to get their hopes up and then go through loss and grief and mourn? If somebody did that and it was made up and caused people all that pain, what would you think about a person like that?
I want to think they were a great person. I think they'd have issues that they needed to deal with in life.
What do you think would make somebody do that? And again, I'm talking hypothetically. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking hypothetically. Why do you think somebody would do that if they did
I'd
that?
say relationship status, wanting to be pregnant.
Do you think that kind of person would be in a lot of pain themselves?
I'd say yeah. I would think they were.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be malicious. They might just be in a lot of pain themselves.
I'd say yeah.
Have you ever exaggerated your circumstance about being pregnant or being further along than you were, or declaring yourself pregnant before you were certain that you were pregnant?
Yeah.
How so?
Right after we got pregnant, and then shortly after getting pregnant, I took a pregnancy test and was sure that I was pregnant at the time, and some of the HCG was actually still from the prior pregnancy that was detected, and I got pregnant a couple weeks after the fact of thinking I was pregnant, yes.
So you thought you were pregnant, but you weren't, but then you got pregnant
Correct.
later. Are you pregnant right now?
Absolutely not.
Did you terminate a pregnancy in April of this year?
The end of March, early April? No, it wasn't terminated.
What happened to that pregnancy?
It actually all went into my suicide attempt as well, so.
Did you send a text to the father's sister that said that you had terminated the pregnancy and one baby was missed, so you're still going to be parents in October?
No.
Did you send this?
No.
Who sent that?
I don't even know what number that's from.
It was
Text
from your
message.
phone number,
Okay. I didn't send it.
your current phone number.
Okay. I had already went through my suicide attempt by this time. So if I sent this message, I was definitely on medication at that time.
Let's talk about your suicide attempt, because in your pre-interview with us, you said, I took 108 pills, drank 3 miniature bottles of vodka, drove the car to a desolate location. The phone was pinged and the police found me. I was unconscious Tuesday through Thursday. Okay? But the police report on April 3rd of this year said a white van was driving recklessly, conducted a traffic stop. The driver took approximately 100 plus pills, multiple empty pill bottles located. In purse was a suicide note, was sorry.
Well, I mean, the police report, I can't acknowledge. The pre-interview, I can't, obviously. The police report, I have no clue.
But then the hospital discharge said Amie only took 11 pills, 4 Xanax, 4 Elavil, 2 Aleve PM throughout the night, passed medical assistant exam, and were partying. Suicide homicide risk assessment denies active suicidal intent, urges or plan, denies suicide note, denies overdose being intentional, just an accident, combined alcohol and prescription medications, which she took extra. Well, which of the three is right?
The first one's accurate. The second one's obviously has to be accurate as well, because it's the police report. The third one, I stated I had took anywhere between 11 and 100 pills.
Were you suicidal or not?
Absolutely. I was. Life was hell. Like, I was going through hell and back.
And what was going on at the time?
I was still dealing with a lot of issues with Courtney. Obviously, still going on with the hate pages. I was dealing with moving back. I had obviously had to leave, and I had permanently relocated to Florida by that time. I had been in a relationship. Courtney's hate page actually ended up messaging her, or people off the page messaged his whole entire family about my life and things of that nature. So I was just in a up and down whirlspin at that time.
This was a few days after you had a gender disclosure party?
Correct.
And the father asked you for proof that you were pregnant?
Correct. And he did get proof. He got hospital papers with blood results that I handed to him. And he still moved.
Well, actually, what he got was this discharge summary from April 1st, 2017, 10:18 p.m. Patient's name, Amie, and on discharge, vomiting in pregnancy.
Correct.
Zofran for nausea.
He also had, there was like several pieces of paper connected to that. There was labs and everything with that.
Well, there wasn't any pregnancy test with it.
The blood, the HCG. They would not diaggnose me vomiting in
We
pregnancy.
asked you for it, and you didn't provide it. any paperwork showing that you were pregnant, and you didn't provide it?
I provided one piece of paper to one of your staff members.
No.
This is only the one then that was taken out of my phone. This is the only one I had in my phone, so.
Have you said you were pregnant when you weren't?
No.
So when you were having that memorial service and releasing those balloons to memorialize Ava, that was legitimate?
Correct.
Is there any reason that I would have evidence to the contrary?
In regards to just me and my, pregnancy? No. I wouldn't think so. If there was a question, I'm sure I'd be able to answer it.
Okay, Amie claims that she endured the loss of her twins all alone.
And Ava.
And Ava. But messages from her Facebook sure make it appear as if the father was right by her side giving a play-by-play. We'll talk about why that is after the break. We spoke with the father of Amie's alleged deceased first set of twins. He claims he's so embarrassed he believed Amie was pregnant twice that he's asked to remain anonymous. But here's what he had to say.
Amie claimed to have 2 pregnancies. The first one, she made it to 19 weeks, and I was actually on vacation, and she said that she had a miscarriage. And then a second pregnancy not long after that of twins. And once again, I was on vacation, and she said that they were stillborn. I had never gotten to see any of the children. I was never at the hospital for it. She would never really give me the chance to go to any of her appointments. I would take days off of work, but she would say that they got changed last minute. I did not see her name on any documents. I made a nursery in my home, and we had a baby shower. After the twins had passed, I was just in disbelief and just was heartbroken. Like I said, I want to see their bodies, I want to see death certificate, I want to see hospital records. There's no record of her being at any hospital in a 100-mile radius. She just had 2 pictures of just 2 different babies. I couldn't tell if they're dead or alive. Amie would change her story up. At one point she said that she went to Chicago and she found a place that does late abortions. That's one of my fears, that she had them somehow and they're living and she's trying to keep that a secret from me. This is sort of like a game for her. She sees how much she can get away with, and then she just moves on to her next person that she can con. She's a sociopath. She's just a terrible person. It was a very stressful time and very depressing time in my life.
Well, that's the father, and he doesn't believe you, and it's caused a lot of pain in his life.
He doesn't, but I was throwing up so drastically that he was giving me fluids to keep that down.
Okay. Well, that doesn't change whether you were pregnant or not.
Yes.
And he doesn't believe that you were, not once but twice.
Okay, that's fine.
Here's some messages that Amie sent while in the hospital. It came from your phone during the twins' deaths. February 19th, 6:35 a.m. This is Amie's spouse. You and the group have come to mean a lot to Amie. Twins were born last night by emergency C-section. So.
Didn't have my phone though. That's the thing. Just like I didn't have my phone and I didn't have access to this web page. I pulled myself off of Facebook quite early.
Okay, well, who's sending this message?
This is off of his phone.
It's your Facebook is what it is. I don't know whether you typed it from your phone or whatever.
I pulled access off of my Facebook.
Okay, February 20th, 8:54 a.m. Amie isn't aware of anything at this current time due to her blood loss. She doesn't know we have lost the son. She doesn't know daughter is now on life support. Amie did wake up today and she asked for the babies. We did have to tell her.
None of this ever happened though.
February 22nd, 8:08 a.m. Amie's bleeding has picked up. She received another unit of blood this morning. Daughter, seen no improvement. She still cannot support herself. February 23rd, 2:18 p.m. Amie has been awake for almost 2 to 3 hours. I'm sure she will soon post to the page when she's feeling up to it. Now, that's supposedly by him from the hospital to your page. Was he there or was he not there?
No, he definitely was not there, and that's not from me. I didn't have my phone on me for several days. Just like this online pregnancy page, I wasn't on Facebook for quite some time.
Okay, what day did you leave the hospital?
I can't recall. It's in the notes.
Well, the notes say you left the hospital on February 19th.
Well, it obviously wasn't the 19th. I mean, it's been 2
Well,
years.
that's the
I don't have
notes.
the dates.
Because on February 19th at 9:31 a.m., you said, made home. They can't keep you when you check out.
Okay, I still didn't have my phone, though. It's a thing. All these text messages aren't coming from me. That's where this is like a big joke to Courtney, because it's like some catfish because...
But you're at home now, so you do have access to
No,
everything.
the phone, I didn't have the phone, and I wasn't on Facebook. That phone had been misplaced. And then it amazingly showed up, which is funny because our house never was locked. Courtney always had access to it. Her ex-husband always had access to our house.
Okay. Now, you went into the hospital when?
I don't recall the exact dates.
Well, you went in by helicopter, right?
No.
You said that you went into what hospital?
One in Chicago. I won't disclose it. And legally, I know I don't have to.
Well, you don't have to do anything.
Right.
But you didn't go in the hospital in Peoria?
No.
Well, here's a text message that you sent. You don't have to come to Peoria right now. His family is starting to arrive. I will text you once I've done all the paperwork with the people who handle the funeral. Courtney, did they take you by ambulance all the way to Peoria? Amie, no. Helicopter took 15 or 20 minutes of that.
Yep.
Okay, so you did go to Peoria.
No, I just didn't want Courtney to know where I was. We were not getting along at that time. I already said no, I was not in Peoria. It was none of her business where I was.
But it was in Illinois, just not Peoria.
Was in that area, yeah. I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like I owe them an explanation. And sitting up here, I certainly don't owe Courtney an explanation. I don't feel like I owe the family an explanation, because if I did have to provide an explanation, I still want it. Sitting here after going through counseling, what I've learned is it's my life. I'm going to grow and I'm going to change. My past is my past. If my dates are wrong, then I'm sorry. If I've made mistakes, then I'm sorry. But that's not who I am now. That's 2 years ago. People need to grow up and move the heck on. But sitting on the stage, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want an honest opinion, I can't stand Courtney. Can't stand her. If you still have a hate page up 2 years later, there's a problem.
In the state of Illinois, and I'm sure it's true in any state, if there's a death of a child beyond 20 weeks, then there's a coroner's report, right?
Yes, there definitely should be some documentation of the baby being born and what happened, what transpired after that.
And there's no record with the coroner of any twin deaths beyond 20 weeks.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm not going to disclose that information. I'm not going to disclose that information.
Disclose what if? I'm not asking you to disclose
In regards
anything.
to, there's obviously not a report. We'll say, okay, there's not a report, and agree with you that you can't find a report.
Why are you different? Why do you, out of everybody in the
I'm
state
not
of
different.
Illinois, don't have
I'm
to
not.
disclose?
No, I'm not saying I don't have to disclose the fact of dead babies. First of all, I'm not saying I don't have to disclose the fact of dead babies. I'm saying I do not have to disclose why there's not a report on file in my circumstances. I'm not going to address the circumstances of this issue, like this particular issue. I know what you're asking me. I mean, I can sit on your stage and I may look like a total ass to you, and that's fine, but there's certain stuff I'm not going to disclose. I don't owe an explanation. I don't. Not for this.
Did you send pictures of the children after they were deceased?
Nope, because I don't have pictures of the deceased.
Did you have the babies cremated?
Not going to answer that. I didn't come on this show to talk about the baby. I didn't come on the show to talk about it.
Listen, I'm trying to clear your name so you don't have to put up with this
But the thing is, I realized going through therapy, I don't need to clear my name. My name's fine with me. I know what's right when I go to sleep at night. I don't owe Courtney an explanation. Fact of the matter is, it's coming down to criminal charges for her, and she can keep putting stuff on the pages. It's been 2 years. It's cyberbullying. It's severe criminal harassment. I'm not above the law whatsoever, but I know what legal rights I have, and I don't have to explain them to Courtney.
You have a foundation. You're raising money.
On my face? Oh, yeah. That's something that I'm going to have to discuss in front of Courtney, because I was under the impression I didn't have to.
You know, I would think you'd want to
Not in front of Courtney. No, absolutely not with Courtney sitting here.
Well, we'll excuse Courtney for a few minutes. Let's excuse you for a few minutes, because I would think you'd want to promote your...
I do, but not with Courtney.
But she's gone.
Okay.
Okay, now tell me about your foundation.
It's a nonprofit org. You have to apply for a 501c3 license, and you also have to apply for a exemption to like raise funds and participate in events and things like that. It's to help veterans that are homeless. We also talk to individuals online if they're having PTSD, suicide issues, things like that. And our ultimate goal is to make sure that not only veterans are established as individuals and getting the help that they need, but also other people, spouses and things of that nature that need their help. We haven't been able to proceed, like we're not allowed to do a lot with the org at all until a 501c3 is cleared.
Okay. Here's what Amie told us about her nonprofit. She gives us a little information about it, so.
I have a fake Instagram page where I can follow Amie and check in on what she's doing. Recently, I found out that she is starting a non-for-profit organization.
I'm currently part of an organization. I'm working with David, and he's the veteran. I connected with him on Instagram, and we had a long phone conversation about how we were both into helping veterans and helping others with mental health issues, whether it's bullying, which I've dealt with, PTSD, depression, things like that. We've actually had the opportunity to participate in a few events, and we've been blessed with raising $3,000 so far for the org.
She alleged to donate to veterans or people that have been suffering from Hurricane Irma. Amie is illegally taking donations without having their non-for-profit 501c3 clearance.
We're actually waiting on our 501c3 clearance to go through, and then we'll be able to start using those donations the best we can as an organization.
In order to have a non-for-profit group, you have to pass background checks. And Amie's not going to pass a background check. If David actually knew it was good for him, he would cut all his losses and run.
You didn't let me out this door right now. First of all, you better get your information straight.
David, thanks for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have that effect on all women in your life? What happened here? I missed the...
I'm not sure.
What did she say to you?
She just said she was upset about Courtney.
From what I understand, she was raging backstage and throwing water bottles at people and really being quite oppositional.
You guys falsified. You know what? That's fine, dude. That's fine. I'm telling you right now, Justin.
What falsified?
Falsified my ass. I'm telling you guys right now with your false. I came on this. Do you think for 1 minute you guys are joke? Where's my bag? Sit down my face. I want my phone and I want to go to the airport. I'm done.
Nobody
I'm done.
wants you to.
I'm done.
We'll take a break and be right back. Tell me your involvement in this whole story.
Well, we met on Instagram, and I do motivational writing, and she wrote to me and just said...
She wrote to you?
She said, I love what you're doing. You're probably helping millions of people, and I said, thank you, and we just kept talking.
What did she tell you about her brother?
That he took his own life.
That he took his own life?
Yes, sir.
How did he do that?
She said with a gun.
That he actually had to shoot himself twice?
Yes, sir.
To complete, I think once it went through the cheek or something, and he had
That's
to
what I was told, yes, sir.
Crawl over. The gun fell, he had to crawl over, get it, and shoot himself a second time to complete the task.
Yes, sir.
We ask everybody when they come here, we do structured interviews with them, just as we did you.
Yes, sir.
And you remember we asked you, do you have siblings? And are they all living? And if so, how old they are, and are they married, single, whatever? She told us that she had lost a brother at 18 months old.
Okay.
Just that when he was a baby, she had lost a brother.
Okay.
That was the only brother, and that was when she lost him in her life. She didn't say anything at all about a brother committing suicide. And the point about the foundation is we searched high and low in the registry, and there's no registration for her foundation, because if you do raise money and you're under the impression it's a 501c3, and it's not, which means people that are giving might think it's deductible, and it's not.
Right.
So then they claim a deduction and it's disallowed. Then they come back to you and they're upset. And if it's a fraud in the inducement, where they claim that they have a shared experience of losing a brother or something like that, and they find out that's not true, now you're in all kinds of problems.
Right,
so I'm just telling you to protect you.
Yes, sir.
That does not seem to be the case.
We've been very transparent about everything that we've been doing with the organization, and as far as letting people know that the paperwork isn't put through completely yet, so that if there are any kind of donations they're giving to us, it is under the impression that we haven't completed our registration yet.
Yeah, and you can do that with a pending. We'll take a break and be right back. You know, I get asked a lot, who does that? I'm the incurable optimist, and I don't think Amie is an evil person or a bad person. People lie for several different reasons. To take what is not rightfully theirs, escape accountability, create a fantasy or a false self-esteem to escape their mundane life. On the ugly side, they do it to inflict pain, avoid punishment, feel better in the moment, steal admiration, gain an advantage to exploit others. You know, these are the reasons that people lie.
Accused of faking pregnancies. What happened after she stormed off stage?
She allegedly faked her own death.
Did she turn on her former friend?
You say your daughter received a message that said, you will pay for what your mom did. So, what has happened after Amie's backstage meltdown? Well, a whole lot, including to my staff, because they say they received a text saying Amie was deceased. Now, Courtney claims the drama has not stopped, and she and her teen daughter have now become victims themselves. Take a look.
Do you want an honest opinion? I can't stand Courtney.
Since Amie and I were with Dr. Phil, I believe that she has been cyberbullying me. In post, I've been accused of making money out of speaking against Amie, been called a horrendous mother, a liar, and a scam artist. There have been several social media accounts that were set up made to look like they were me. LMAO, anyone who can't carry a baby full term is worthless. And on those fake accounts, there were messages sent and posts being made to make it seem as though I was cyberbullying Amie. If you bury a baby, then obviously she is garbage. These are definitely not my words. I would never say anything so horrible to another human being. At the same time I was being attacked, my 15-year-old daughter was also being attacked on social media. The things that were posted were horrific, disgusting, sexually explicit, calling her promiscuous, which were all lies. My daughter was horrified. There was even a message sent directly to my daughter that said, "This is what your mom gets when she lies. I know you're a slut. You seem to contact everybody. Your daughter will pay." After receiving those messages, I was scared for my daughter. I contacted authorities and filed police reports in order to protect her. Because the post was made towards a minor, this was considered cyberbullying. The sheriff's department did their best to try to get the post taken down, but were unsuccessful. It devastated my daughter. She had a very hard time dealing with the fact that that post still remained up for people to see. My daughter was completely victimized by all of this, and she did not deserve a bit of it.
Well, Courtney, it's good to see you again.
You too.
You say since the show, since she was here, that she has been cyberbullying you and your daughter, correct?
Absolutely.
And you understand she denies that.
Of course
she
does.
tells us that's not true, that's not her, she's not doing that. She allegedly posted that you were paid to come on here, and it was in your name.
Yes, it was
It says, "I'm Courtney, I lie. I got paid to be on the Dr. Phil show, and I let my daughter," I won't repeat this vulgar comment, just to make the record clear, you didn't get paid to come on this show.
No, I did not
You came
get
here
paid.
on your own free will to talk about something of public concern.
Absolutely. I came here to let the public know of what she is and to warn people about what she's doing to others.
You say that your daughter received a message.
Yes.
That said, quote, "You will pay for what your mom did."
Yes.
And this was very personal information that only Amie knew about your 15-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Okay, well, next, how a vindictive prank put my staff in the middle of her drama. That's after the break. Well, when Amie was last here, she was being accused of faking pregnancies, faking baby deaths, and even sending photos of deceased twins to her friends and family. Now, Amie completely denied everything, completely. Said, not true, absolutely lies, not doing it. Now, after the show aired, we found out some great news about one of those allegedly deceased twins.
When Amie spoke with Dr. Phil, she got caught in lie after lie.
There's no record with the coroner of any twin deaths beyond 20 weeks. Why not?
I don't owe an explanation, not for this.
One of the biggest lies that she had were her fake photos of the twins that allegedly died.
Did you have the babies cremated?
I'm not going to answer that.
A few weeks later, I came in contact with the mother who actually owned the photo that Amie had sent us as a deceased twin. This mother was shocked when she saw clips from the Dr. Phil episode that showed her daughter being used as a picture of a deceased twin. Come to find out, this woman's child is alive. She was born around 32 weeks and she's perfectly healthy. I find it very disgusting and very disturbing that someone would do something like this.
We actually have a statement from that mother, and it says, "I knew Amie strictly through social media. We were friends on Facebook and Instagram. I was watching the episode and realized a picture of my daughter was used on the show as one of Amie's twin babies that had died. The photo of my daughter was in a private album. I believe Amie took my daughter's photo and used it as her own because she was friends with me on social media during this time. My daughter was 34 weeks old in the photo and is alive today and just had her 9th birthday. Here's what she looks like today." Courtney claims that just weeks after Amie denied all accusations and stormed off this stage, she got news that Amie had tragically taken her own life.
Shortly after Amie and I spoke with Dr. Phil, she allegedly faked her own death. It should come as no surprise to me because she's literally faked her own children's deaths. After the taping, I was in a phone conversation with David, a member of the non-for-profit group that Amie was involved with. As I was on the phone with David, he received a message from Amie's cell phone number from a family member claiming that she had killed herself. Tonight at 10:37, Amie successfully committed overdose. Courtney and the Dr. Phil show will be the reason I have to put Amie in the ground. May you burn in eternal hell. I didn't believe this for 1 minute. Because the non-for-profit is so serious about suicide prevention, they decided to call the local law enforcement in Amie's county to do a wellness check on her. They found Amie perfectly alive at her house. After they realized that Amie was alive, they ran her information and found out that she had an outstanding warrant in a nearby county, and then placed her under arrest. The drama that revolves around Amie is like a bad made-for-TV movie.
Okay, so Amie, thankfully, was not dead. Don't wish that on anybody.
No.
And somebody claimed she was.
Yes.
And claimed we were all responsible for that. And there's a text regarding her alleged suicide. It says, "Tonight at 10:37 p.m., Amie successfully committed overdoses. You, Courtney, and the Dr. Phil show will be the reason. Amie in the ground. May you burn in eternal hell. Don't call the cops to show up at my house." Then a member of the Dr. Phil staff here received this message. You and your show made Amie try to kill herself tonight. Leave us alone, you blank fools. Amie is on a respirator because of you. Do not contact us. You and the show are a joke. And the supervisor that handles that is Justin. When this message came in that Amie's on a respirator, Amie's killed herself, it's all your fault, what did the staff member come and say to you?
And she ran in almost in tears into my office. I mean, I haven't ever seen her like that. And I said, what's wrong? Then she showed me that text message. And so we immediately called David, who received the other text message. And he said, oh, you can calm down. I sent someone to do a wellness check, and she's fine, but she did get arrested. So.
Yeah, now David is the person that she was doing the fundraising.
Yes, that was one of her partners in the nonprofit.
For the veterans, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And suicide was a huge cause for them, so that even rattled them to their core as well. I mean, that was scary for them.
Yeah. So we decided to start checking on this. They decided to start checking on this. And, oh, by the way, at the same time, Amie's Instagram profile changed to RIP. Hate helps suicide. And Amie was arrested on a warrant for theft when the wellness check took place, correct?
Yes, she was.
Well, here's the police report. Upon placing Amie into my back seat, she became violent and kicking the partition. A hobble restraint was placed around her ankles. Amie then removed the hobble restraint but remained calm. Rescue 46 arrived. Amie began shouting profanities at them, denying medical services.
After the program aired, I received several messages from different people saying that Amie had scammed them as well. The non-for-profit group that Amie was involved with trusted Amie in helping them raise funds.
We've been blessed with raising $3,000 so far for the org.
Amie said in her own words on the show that she had received donations.
A local woman accused of faking pregnancies and keeping money intended for veterans is telling her story.
After the program aired, Amie set up an interview with a local news channel.
I asked Amie about the money.
Did you collect money before it was approved?
No.
They'd asked her point blank, and she stated no, which was a complete contradiction of what she had said in front of Dr. Phil.
I also spoke with David Smith, the president of the organization. He says he never saw any of the money.
We believed in her and believed everything she told us, and it all turned out to be a lie.
Well, we actually have a statement from the nonprofit, and it reads, as of October 23rd, 2017, Amie was relieved of her duties as Director of Business Development after misfortunate facts of her came to light in the national spotlight. That would be here, I guess. Amie claims to have solicited donation funds under our organization's name. The organization never saw any of the money, nor received any receipts for said donations. We apologize for any pain or damage Amie has caused anyone. Again, she denies all of this. Now, so where is Amie? Well, when we decided to do this follow-up, she said, yes, I'm going to come. We invited her to come to the show again, and she agreed. She conducted her recorded interview over the phone. She even showed up at the airport and texted my staff she was boarding her airplane. So, Justin, what happened then?
She changed her flight and flew somewhere else.
On our ticket?
Yes, we paid for a trip to a said location.
She went to the airport, text, I'm here.
Communicated all morning. She said, I boarded the plane, so just something clicked, and I said, you should probably, let's just check, because you never know. We called and said, oh yeah, no, she got on a plane, but it's not to Los Angeles. She went up to the counter and changed her flight.
So up until she got on that plane, she's telling you she's coming here.
Very receptive, answered our calls, did everything she needed to do. No problems.
Then she texted producers saying she was sorry, but she had too much anxiety about coming back. Now, we've reached out to Amie several times since, but we've not received a response.